Good morning. Welcome to Game 1 of the Forest Lake Rangers Classic between your Eagan Wildcats and St. Mary's Point. St. Mary's Point looking sharp in their old school Fighting Saints sweaters. They will be wearing green, skating from left to right, and your Eagan Wildcats will be in their home white, skating right to left. Both teams are back to their respective benches, getting a final pep talk prior to the puck drop. 12 minutes is on the clock. So it looks like this tournament structure is a little bit different than district games with regards to the length of the periods. Your starting five for Eagan Wildcats: Lawrence, Kolaji, Cy, Haynes, and Prouty. In net for Eagan Wildcats is Brody Verstraat. Puck drops, goes to St. Mary's Point. Drop to Michael Haynes. Haynes takes the puck back behind his own net. Cross ice pass to Grand Prouty. Prouty takes a shoulder in the lower corner. Back to Haynes. Haynes looking up ice to Lawrence. Lawrence tries to make a move at the point. Held in by number 3 from St. Mary's Point. Prouty comes way up, tries to push the puck out. Kolaji and Haynes battle down low. The near corner, St. Mary's Point. Able to hold the zone. They come far side of the ice and back down into the far corner. Prouty chases it down, tries to nudge it out to one of his Eagan teammates. No one's there except for St. Mary's Point. 1 minute into this game, and so far it has been all St. Mary's Point. Haynes, near side corner, he comes up the near boards, tipped by Everett Cy, and held in by defenseman number 3. What a centering pass. Nice opportunity. Michael Haynes does a great job of just patting that away. Back behind the net, Kolaji tries to take it up. Turnover at the blue line. Again, St. Mary's Point shot. That's a save for a face-off to Verstraat's right-hand side, top corner. As Eagan gets a fresh 5, you've got Stricker, Klenner, Gannon. The Bauman and Austin. Nice pass out to Gannon. Gannon hits the center ice and then dumps it into the Eagan offensive zone. They battle back and forth a little bit right at the neutral ice. Nice physical battle along the far boards. No whistles. St. Mary's Point, they collect the puck with speed. Puck maintained, possession by Caden Austin. Austin to Klenner. Klenner tries to get a shot on net. That's knocked away by St. Mary's Point. Stricker collects the puck, gets it again. And Gannon's going to dump it deep along the far boards, wraps around the St. Mary's Point net. As we had a couple new forwards on the ice, Lawrence and Rudolph. So you got Lawrence, Rudolph, Austin, Prouty, and Donahue. Prouty takes it up right through the center. Nice pass looking for Rudolph. Rudolph catches up to it near boards to the far corner. Prouty right through the high slides, tipped. That's a goal, Bobo Donahue! Assist, Graham Prouty. Bo Donahue doing his best Zach Parisi impression as he tips that shot up and in to your Eagan Wildcats after being back in the defensive end most of the first period. Takes a 1-goal lead. James Lawrence wins the faceoff. He comes right down. He goes top shelf. James Lawrence goes up and in right off the faceoff, unassisted. Jimmy Lawrence. The Wildcats with a quick 2 goals. 9:17 remaining in the first period. St. Mary's Point pushed us on our heels right away, and then we punched back. Lawrence, Donahue, Rudolph, Prouty, and Haynes. So some different lines today That'll be icing in St. Mary's Point. We'll come back to the Eagan offensive zone, and we'll have a face-off. It looks like we'll have a near side circle. Puck drop right to the goalie's right-hand side. As we've got Klenner, Cy, Austin, Stricker, and Kolodji. Cy wins the face-off, takes it himself. He comes around, nice pass looking for Kolodji, just a little bit too much mustard. That puck sails wide, picked up by Stricker back at center ice. Stricker to Austin, Austin. Puck moving a little bit faster than his feet on that one. Stricker picks it up back to the center logo. He tells Kolodji to go deep. D-to-D pass, looking for Austin. Austin right through the high slot. Oh, toe drag, comes down low. Can't get a shot on net. Knocked into the near side corner and picked up by St. Mary's Point. Cy applies pressure. St. Mary's Point, they're able to clear the zone. Picked up back at the center line by Cy momentarily. Now it's a fast break opportunity for St. Mary's Point. Kolodji and Stricker apply pressure. Centering pass sails through the zone as Cy takes it up with speed. Drop pass to Austin, near side of the ice into the offensive zone. Austin centers it. That gets deflected by St. Mary's Point as they wrap it on their own net. Outlet pass does not clear the zone as Prouty's on the ice to continue forcing push in the offensive zone. Haynes and Prouty back. It's a 2-on-2. Centering pass disrupted by Graham Prouty. Prouty on the near boards. His forwards are Lawrence, Bauman, and Gannon. Pass up to Bauman. Bauman near boards. Into the corner. Centering pass deflected. He had Gannon all by himself. Couldn't get through traffic. Nice defensive pressure by St. Mary's Point. Outlet pass to Stricker. Stricker, his shot. Wide right. Picked up by Gannon. Gannon battles in the far corner. Gets it to Lawrence. Lawrence out to Stricker. Stricker cannot handle the zone. So Stricker goes to Haynes. Haynes all the way back into Eagan's defensive zone. Wraps the puck around his net. Takes it up the far wall. Backhand pass to Gannon. Gannon nudges it back to neutral ice, forcing St. Mary's Point to get back on side and regroup. Stricker and Lawrence battle for it. Nudge out to Gannon. Gannon, he takes it up himself. He's going to take a shot from the top circle. Big time blocker save. That sails wide left. Outlet pass taken away by Stricker. Stricker back in his own zone. Nudges it up for Austin. And Gannon's going to dump it. So you've got Donahue and Klenner, Austin, Stricker. I'm sorry, Stricker's out for Prouty. And Rudolph. St. Mary's Point up along the near boards. That's a big time shot. Just wide left. That goes all the way up the boards. Now it's a 3-on-none. Holy buckets. Here comes Klenner all by himself. It's a 4-on-0. Klenner. He goes up. He goes in. Klenner. Klenner puts Eagan up 3-0 with 5:55 remaining in the first period. As the way that puck popped out, it was nothing but white jerseys off to the races. So we'll line up at the logo. You get Cy, Lawrence, Kolodji, Prouty, and Haynes. Cy wins the faceoff, pushes it near boards into the Eagan offensive zone. Collected by St. Mary's Point and dumped down low back behind Verstraat. Prouty up to Kolodji. Kolodji tries to go around the left defender. Puck knocked away. There's a toe drag. There's a shot wide left. Haynes battles back behind the net and gets it out to Kolodji. Kolodji, nice outlet pass looking for Cy, just outside of his outstretched hands, but the second chance opportunity, he stays with it. He went in deep. His shot wide right. Over Cy, back pass to Michael Haynes. Michael Haynes through the center slot. His shot, glove save and covered by St. Mary's Point. So we will have a face-off in the St. Mary's Point defensive zone to the left-hand side of this goaltender. 5:10 remaining in the first period. As we've got Stricker, Austin, Klenner, Gannon, and Bauman. Bauman to Gannon. Gannon, he's going to dump it, wrap it around the St. Mary's Point net, picked up by Klenner in the near side corner. Klenner back by the net for Gannon. Gannon, he's going to try to center it, looking for Bauman. That's deflected. Bauman, nice battle. Puck pops free to St. Mary's Point. St. Mary's Point along the near boards. Outlet pass. Cross ice, picked up by their left winger. Right through the mid slot. Back pass to the right point. D to D. Spreading out the defense. That shot deflected. Wide left by Verstraat. Centering pass. Covered by Brody. So we'll face off to Brody's right-hand side, top circle in the Eagan defensive zone. 4:37 remaining in the first period. The Eagan Wildcats on the ice. Haynes, Prouty, Lawrence, Donahue, and Rudolph. Nice job, Lawrence, applying pressure at the point, forcing a turnover to Rudolph. Rudolph goes up ice, looking for Lawrence on a fast break opportunity, and that puck just slid a little bit too far in past the goal line, so that will be icing against your Eagan Wildcats. We'll come back down to Verstraat's right-hand side in the Eagan defensive zone, and we will have another puck drop. Shot by St. Mary's Point, disrupted by Rudolph. Rudolph to the center line. Turnover, back to St. Mary's Point, picked up by Donahue. Donahue back to center ice. St. Mary's Point has to find time to regroup when throwing it back to the offensive zone. That's taken up by Michael Haynes. Haynes, he comes near boards. He's going to take it all himself. That's a shot just wide right from the lower circle. With muscle, that puck slides all the way back to the center logo. Prouty to Rudolph. Rudolph along the far boards. Goes through the legs of a defender before St. Mary's Point collects the puck and takes the offensive zone. Good poke check grab, Prouty. St. Mary's Point just had one person to beat as they came up. Toe drag. Tried to get a shot on net. Knocked away by Graham Prouty. Prouty, that's offside Eagan. Prouty took the puck up himself, crossed the blue line, and Eagan had a forward down ice. So we'll have a face-off in the top left bubble on the St. Mary's Point half of the ice. Klenner, Cy, Kalaji, Austin, and Stricker. Cy to Kalaji, that'll be offside again. They're not going to call it. I like how Klenner's like, I'll tag up, it's fine. We'll play college rules. The referee has disagreed. Whistle, offside. So we'll line up and take the puck drop again. Cy up to Klenner. Klenner back to Cy. Cy, he rips it up and huge glove save. Cy saw nothing but open net up in that top right corner, but the goalie had something to say about that. Gloves it down. Face off to the goalie's right-hand side, near side circle in the St. Mary's Point defensive zone. Puck falls to Klenner. Klenner out to Stricker. Stricker, his shot. He keeps it low. Rebound. No goal! Oh my goodness, that rebound was right there. Eagan could not handle it. Pushes it wide right. That's a penalty coming against St. Mary's Point as Cy takes a hit and a hard bounce off the walls. So Eagan Wildcats will go on the power play with 2:48 remaining in the first period. Currently out shooting St. Mary's Point 8-2. I'm not sure how accurate that shot on goal is. I think that St. Mary's Point has more than two, but I digress. It's minute 30 on the penalty clock for St. Mary's Point. Lawrence, Bauman, Haynes, Prouty, and Gannon. Bauman, he takes a shot. Nice battle down low by St. Mary's Point, using the body, forcing it out. Now here's Eagan is right through the mid slot, and Michael Haynes. He tries to throw it down low, looking for one of his teammates. Nice job back checking, holding the zone by Bauman. Gannon right through the low slot. That's a pass. That's a shot. It's a goal! Jimmy Lawrence. Jimmy Lawrence is on fire. He had 2 goals last week, and he's continuing his points as he takes the pass from Gannon and puts it up and in as the goaltender was sliding near post. So Eagan Wildcats go up 4-0, 2:16 remaining in the first period. Lawrence, Bauman, Gannon, Prouty, and Haynes. Verstraat back in net. We're back at 5-on-5 hockey as that goal has negated the penalty. St. Mary's Point throws it down ice, and we have an icing. So we'll come all the way back down to the Eagan offensive zone, near side circle, to the St. Mary's Point goaltender's right-hand side. Fresh 5 on the ice for both teams. For your Wildcats, Klenner, Donahue, Rudolph, Austin, and Stricker. Donahue lines up at the circle, ready to take the face-off. He nudges it. Nice backhand pass, looking near boards for Klenner. That's just muscled away by St. Mary's Point. Eagan regroups at the center line. And nudged up by Austin. That will be icing. Unable to connect with his wingers. So it'll come down the ice to Verstraat's left-hand side. Near side circle. Same 5 will stay on the ice. As Donahue lines up at the center to set the circle. Donahue up to the right D for St. Mary's Point. St. Mary's Point dumps it down low. Austin surveys the ice. He's got time. Nice centering pass. Holy buckets. Nice shot by Rudolph. Austin to Rudolph. Rudolph goes the length of the ice. He shoots. Big time block by St. Mary's Point. Rebound pass. The rebound shot goes high. I hope that they revisit that play at a later date. That pass from Austin to Rudolph was absolutely amazing. Nice job by Stricker. Holding the blue line, pass up to Donahue. Donahue to the right side. And Austin. Austin loses it on the far boards. Puck picked up by Lawrence. Lawrence back up to Rudolph as St. Mary's Point clears the zone. It's a 2-on-1 going the other way as Prouty tries to throw it up ice and hit the backside of a St. Mary's Point sweater. Lawrence back checks into the near corner. St. Mary's Point comes with it. St. Mary's Point with an opportunity. It goes a little bit outside of his reach. He's unable to get a shot on net. Everett Side takes another big hit in open ice. No call. St. Mary's Point tries to push the offensive zone, but Rudolph is there to pick his pocket. Rudolph goes far boards all the way up the ice. He's held up a little bit in the low slot. He takes a shot. That's up and over. Wow. Good glove by the St. Mary's Point goaltender. That looked like it was about 3 feet above the net. He got hops. He went up there, grabbed it, covered it to slow down the Eagan push and force a face-off to his right-hand side, low side circle. Cy, Haynes, Prouty, Lawrence, and Kolagi. Good pressure by St. Mary's Point, picked up by Prouty. Prouty up to Kolagi. Kolagi tries to dump it deep. Gets it to Cy. Cy, nudge pass to Lawrence. Lawrence. He gets hooked and held, but it was the end of the period. The referees are going to let him play. So that is the end of the first period. Your Wildcats up 4-0. Welcome to period 2 here in the Rangers Classic, the first game against the St. Mary's Point. I believe they're the Crushers. Your starting 5 for the second period for Eagan Wildcats. Verstraat is in net. Gannon, Bauman, Stricker, Austin, and is that Klenner? It is Klenner. Gannon streaks up the near boards. Wraparound pass up to Austin. Austin back to Bauman. Bauman looking to find a crease in this staunch St. Mary's Point defense. Can't find one as they're forced to take the puck back to center ice and regroup. Stricker to Gannon. They're going to say that was a tip. No icing. Bauman applies pressure. Gannon waited for the attacker and gets beat. Nice diving effort by James Lawrence. And Stricker out to Gannon. Gannon. He falls down. Puck sails back behind the St. Mary's Point net. As Austin tries to hold the point. St. Mary's Point coming the other way. St. Mary's Point trying to drop pass to their streaking centerman. Picked up by Austin. Austin back to Prouty. As Donahue and Lawrence are on the ice alongside Gannon as your forwards. Prouty. Pass intercepted by St. Mary's Point. Right at the center logo. Donahue battles. He takes it up the high slot. Donahue. Far side circle. What a pass! What a save! Donahue to Gannon. Gannon's shot knocked away by the St. Mary's Point goaltender. Good battle. Late whistle. They should have probably called that one a little bit earlier as James Lawrence was trying to cut down a tree with that puck right between the goaltender's pads. 10-17 remaining in the second period. Yep, Prouty, Haynes, Rudolph, Donahue, and Lawrence. Klenner. Back out to Prouty. Right side. Nice job. Cycles it down low to Rudolph. Back out to Michael Haynes. Haynes to the mid slide. He's going to take a shot. That's a rifle. That was loose for a minute before the goaltender got his left leg to pinch the puck against the ice. To get that. Haynes. Donnie. Rudolph. Nice drop pass to Prouty along the near side boards. Prouty, what a little pass down to Donahue. Donahue deflected and blocked. That's a check against Klenner. I'm sorry, that was at Rudolph. So your Eagan Wildcats will go back on the power play. So they did whistle that one for a check. Side, Stricker, Austin, Kolaji, Sai, and Lawrence. Sai lines up to face off, takes it himself. Side circle. Nudges it to Sai. Sai gets held up back behind the St. Mary's Point net. St. Mary's Sai is good. He's quick. He gets time. Take down over Sai at the line. 2-on-1. Sai to Austin. Austin tries to do a backdoor Sai. Deflected by St. Mary's Point. They'll break a pass to number 3. Number 3 is all by himself. He skates up ice. And Eagan gets lucky as an icing call. That was all St. Mary's Point. Huge effort. Nice shot. 9:03 remaining in the second period. 4-7 penalty for Gannon. And Klenner. Back out to Prouty. He's coming near side circle. His shot wide right. Picked up by Bauman. He wraps it around. That's deflected right at the post by the goaltender. Very strong second period. This point clears the zone, tipped by Eagan, so no icing. As Klenner and Haynes battle far board, puck himself. He comes with the slot. He goes top shelf. Hit on wide right. Bauman, his shot, wide, up, down by this St. Mary's Point goaltender. Gannon's upset with himself that he missed that. Wanted to put it on net, at least went wide right. So there we go. We're back 5-on-5 hockey. Penalty has been killed. Stricker, Austin, Rudolph, Donahue, and Lawrence. Eagan's playing with 3 defensemen as Rudolph was lined up back behind the face-off. Nice shot. Rudolph looking for Donahue. It's Lawrence, James Lawrence on the top side circle. He gets stymied at St. Mary's Point. Tries to clear the zone, held by, was that Austin? Shot on net, knocked down by Verstraat, picked up by Haynes. Haynes on the top circle. Along the far. Brandon probably fights for it. He'd take, looking to hit the mid slot and get that puck through traffic. Zone held by Prouty. Prouty trying to go D to D, but went right to a St. Mary's Point player. Fortunately, Michael Haynes came up and that's a rebound. Outside. As Brody Verstraat leaves the ice. Back to Bauman. Bauman on the near side boards, looking for Gannon. That goes up and into the net. Bauman wins the faceoff, dumps it to Stricker. Stricker back to Bauman. Good battle down low by St. Mary's Point. Pass knocked away. Turnover. Bauman at the blue line, waits for Gannon. Gannon right through the low side. His shot wide right. Lawrence to Gannon. Around St. Mary's. St. Mary's point outlet pass back to the center logo. As Austin to stick on it. Good battle. Austin. Lawrence is going to dump it far corner. Look at the change as Klenner comes on the ice. St. Mary's point with the puck. And it's taken away by Bowman. Sorry, Bauman. Bauman again backhand shot deflected wide left. So, it's back in the power play. 4:41 remaining in the second period. Got Rudolph, Donahue, Lawrence, Prouty, Haynes. Donahue lines up. Top circle, offensive zone to the Minders' right-hand side. Lawrence passes it back to Haynes. Haynes, quick shot. That knocks the kid's stick out of his hands. And Rudolph is there to collect it. Holds it. Goes up over a diving St. Mary's point goaltender. So quick power play goal for your Wildcats. Just 8 seconds in. Michael Haynes' rocket knocked it out of a player's hand. Same fire. Dumps the for puck drop bubble the ice. The Wildcats up 6-0 in the second period. Looks like it's not running time until the third. Back pass to Prouty. He stays up with time. His shot goes in. Grand Prix. So 7-0 is your score. Wildcats versus the Austin, Stricker, Sai, Kolaji, and Klenner. Sai takes break pass deflected. On. Austin looking for Kolaji. Hardboard's looking for Sai. Austin. Goal line for an icing. McPherson gathers the puck, gets it to the referee. 3:48 remaining in the second period. Your shots on goal. 21 Wildcats, 3 for the 3-point pressures. Same 5 on the St. Mary's point, right hand side. Drop pass back to the left D. Austin, his shot deflected wide right on the nearboards. Stricker stays down. Line. Tries to pass it up to Klenner, does not get there. Zone maintained by St. Mary's point. St. Mary's point. That shot, big time pad save. McPherson was sliding the other way, came around. I don't know how he got his leg on that one. Austin runs in congestion along 94. Puck comes out to the lead. Slap shot. Glove save. Pearson just watching that down. Bauman, Gannon, and He's going to reverse a little bit, look for an outlet pass. Nudges up to Gannon along the right-hand point. Point defenseman, Sayers Point defenseman with speed. Outside. It's save up. Holy moly. Of a shot. McPherson blocker knocks that away. Gannon, I'm just hanging. That's a shot. Another blocker save by Pearson. Sayers Point applying pressure here. In the second period. Picked up by St. Mary's Point. St. Mary's Point with time. Break up. On the Gannon gives space to take it himself. Here comes Graham Prouty. Near side circle offensive zone. His shot. That's deflected. Rebound. Lawrence was unable to get a stick on it. Now he collects it. Far side circle. Centering pass. Deflected back behind the St. Mary's Point net. Picked up by Bauman at the right hand point. His shot. High and wide. Out to Lawrence. Lawrence to Haynes. His shot. Stick save. Wide left. Lawrence gets up around front. Gannon, his back hit. Deflected. Down low, looking for Lawrence and Bauman. Bauman back to Gannon. Gannon. Nice pass over to Haynes. Haynes has time. His shot. High. Off the boards. Back out to Prouty. Prouty cycles it down low. Centering pass. Nice centering pass to Lawrence. Lawrence his shot on net. Deflected by this goaltender. They're going to call it dead. Well, the face goaltender's right hand side. Top 40 seconds left second period. Nice taking quality shots on that. Austin Stricker and takes the face of also St. Mary's Point. Down low. Shot at St. Mary's Point. Knocks in the corner. They exit the zone. Dump it deep. Picked up. Buzzer. 2. Eagan walk at 7. St. Mary's Point Crushers 0. net. St. Mary's point takes the face off near boards. Center pass off the leg of Austin. Back to the Eagan net, picked up by Lawrence. Lawrence up. It's up by starting with the puck. By center. 3-on-2 going the other way. Lawrence to side. Picked by St. Mary's Point. They push the zone. Puck near side of the boards. Puck cross. Comes around deep. Sailed a little bit high. Dumped in by Prouty. Battled by Kalaji. St. Mary's Point clears the zone back to center ice. Collected by Prouty. Haynes, his shot deflected. Off Gannon's stick. Does not get through the goalie. St. Mary comes away with it. Klenner, it's a one-on-one. Klenner comes near side circle. His shot deflected wide left. Picks it up looking for Bauman. As you've got Bauman, Game, Prouty, Haynes, and Klenner. St. Mary's Point at the whole goal. They just some Gannon battles as the puck. One to go. They poke it near side corner. Center pass looking for Gannon. Gannon, I don't think was ready for it. Puck pops straight back. Lawrence on the near boards. Takes a shot that hit post. Lawrence follows it up. Back out to Kolaji. Collapses around back for Lawrence. St. Mary's comes out from behind their own net with the puck. So, quick shot, bouncing. From the point, I apologize, I don't remember who shot it, but puts the Eagan Wildcats up 8-0. Side Rudolph. Wicked slap shot from the near side circle by number 3, defenseman for St. Mary's Point. As he puts him on the board. It is now 9-1, 7:14 remaining in the third period. Gannon to Rudolph. Rudolph shoots and scores. Gannon to Rudolph. on St. Mary's Point still, even though they are up. So it's running time, 6:50 remaining in the third period. Bauman, Klenner, Kolagi, Prouty, and Haynes. Klenner applies pressure. St. Mary's Point. Kolagi on the far board. Such a Prouty his shot. Deflected off the goaltender, stick net. Was a very, very tough spot. Bauman. Possession made by St. Mary's Point, taken away by Austin. So that's wide left the Mary's Point on icing. We'll come back to the offensive zone. 5-15 remaining his first 8 shots on net. Wildcats 9 for the St. Mary's Point Crushers. Austin, Stricker, Gannon, Donahue, and Lawrence. Scored the goal recently. Pass. That's a shot. Big save, McPherson. What an offensive sequence by St. Mary's Point. Absolutely nutty. They could not have played that better. That shot was perfect. McPherson robs St. Mary's Point their second goal. 11 off the face. We're going to settle in. Circle to McPherson's right hand side. Stricker up the far boards. Back to Stricker. Stricker. Sit back, taken by St. Mary's Point. Goal on far boards. Puck finds a mistake, taken away by St. Mary's Point. St. Mary's Point. Again, battles looking a lot like that in the first 2 minutes of the game as they maintain the offensive possession, putting pressure on this Eagan Wildcats. Austin, he's going to clear to center ice. Austin, right through the slot, takes himself. His shot goes wide right, picked up, and wrapped. We'll see he's got number 2. But that was a save. St. Mary's Point, not minors, right hands. 3:06 remaining in the game. Kolagi and Sai. St. Mary's deflects it back center of the ice and picked up. His shot wide left. His shot. Off the head of Everett Sai. Sai is at a rough day. So He's just taking himself that shot. Big time pad save by St. Mary's Point. Rudolph. Deep. Here's side corner. Puck settles. St. Mary's Point picked up by the defenseman. Austin Stricker and Bauman. D-to-D pass by St. Mary's Point. Unable to exit the zone. Stricker holds it in. Stricker looking down low. Corner. Quick shot. Quick stick save. Picked up by St. Mary's Point. Klenner to Austin. Austin shot wide left. Top point. Pass on to Donahue. Win in the Ranger Classic. 11-1. 32 shots on net to 11.
It was in the head. I don't know if it's here, but he was kind of like,
maybe it's a shock.
Yeah. He did not look like he enjoyed it. Thanks, Trinna.
Thank you. Yep, see you later.